This TLCS review is going to pretty much be pretty short and sweet. I will say this. They really had a great opener. The way they actually did set up the IC belt, not to mention have practically the most brutal and bloody match that I have seen in a while, especially during the PG era, was absolutely amazing. And Dolph pretty much gave it his all. Luke Harper definitely pretty much stayed on his toes. He was dominant through most of the match. But either or, they put on a really great match, and they made the IC belt look like it was worth something. Usually, I would pretty much be upset about, you know, going back and forth with the belt because it makes the belt look weak. I can't say that for this match because these guys really did put on the best show they could ever put on at the beginning of the entire pay-per-view, and they made the belt feel like it was worth something. They actually gave some weight to it. So I'm not going to completely hate on that match. But I will say after the opener, it lost its momentum. The entire pay-per-view started to slow down and slow down quick. And no matter what they tried to do, they couldn't really bring it back up until the very end. But they even tried with then, but it started off slow, but then they worked their way up. I will say that I was really impressed with Nikki. Nikki is starting to become a really great heel. And sure, she even pulled out the whole perfume thing. And even though Brie wasn't there, the fact that Brie wasn't entirely involved, in my opinion, kind of makes me feel like her heel turn was completely pointless. Not to mention everything that Nikki kind of put her through. So it was kind of, it's ridiculous for her to actually be on her side. But technically, when you make a heel turn, when you have a heel turn like that, and you're kind of like a, I don't know, well, you know what I mean. Like when you actually do a heel turn, that heel usually helps the other heel out. And even though she tried to help her out, she got caught. So it just kind of makes me feel that Brie's heel turn was kind of pointless. But either or, they still were great heels. They got a lot of heat with the crowd. Nikki definitely got a lot of heat with the crowd by beating AJ Lee. And let's be real. Like I said in my predictions, the Black Widow is the only thing that stops these divas. And it's great how Nikki Bella was able to power through that. And but it's not really so much the size of AJ Lee. It's just the fact that AJ Lee, she's pretty agile, but she's not as strong as Nikki. So I kind of had a feeling that she probably would not get her title back because Nikki is a lot stronger than her. And even if she, you know, somehow put a submission hold on her, she's strong enough to literally break it. And that's really, really great. And I'm happy that she retained the belt. And I'm happy that she's an awesome heel. So I'm really, really happy for that too. But enough about the divas. I guess I'll talk about the other matches. Well, there's really nothing much to talk about. As for the USA versus Russia match, Rusev versus Swagger, I didn't much care about that match. You guys already know how I feel about the whole USA versus Russia feud. I think it's old, it's overdone, it needs to be finished, but they're going to consistently keep pushing this and shoving this down our throats. But for those that are patriotic, they love it. For those that don't care like me, they're like, meh, move on. But I will say this. The match that was supposed to have the most hype because it was something new, it was something fresh and original, and they even changed the name of the pay-per-view for it. You would think that they would actually make it a decent match. It wasn't. It was slow as molasses, and I'm talking about the Big Show versus Eric Rowan. Good grief. That entire match was slow as molasses, and I literally just, I walked out in the middle of the match. Seriously, I really, really did. And I even did the same thing with Ryback versus Kane. And nobody really cares much about Ryback anymore, and nobody really cares much about Kane. Even though Ryback came back as an anti-hero, his momentum is slowing down very, very fast. Kane has been neutered. His character has completely changed. He can't go back to being the devil's favorite demon. He is now Corporate Kane. Nobody really cared about that match. Neither did I. The same thing with the Usos. I don't like the Usos anymore because the Usos are boring. I'm not going to lie. They're boring. They were great. They were fun when they first started out. You rooted for them because you wanted somebody different to actually hold the titles. Their title reign was boring. There's nothing interesting about them anymore. Even this feud between him and The Miz and Naomi is starting to slow down. Like, nobody really cares about that. Not to mention that she really had no influence in the match at all, which would have been more interesting, having her come out there and somehow, you know, kind of being a distraction for her husband. That would have been great if she was able to do that, to be a part of this feud, that since she's pretty much in the middle of the whole feud between The Miz and her husband, it would have been great if she would have been involved, but she wasn't, and the match was still boring. I don't care whether or not the Miz and Mizdow cheated. And plus, it started to make me realize that, well, not really realizing, I'm really getting the idea, and I know it sounds stupid, but yeah, the Mizdow, or Damien Mizdow is definitely way over than the Miz, but it's to the point where he still looks like an idiot. Sorry, he really does. Sure, he's supposed to be a stunt double, but he's more like a mime than anything else. And I really thought it was cute at first. It was fun and funny, but now it's just getting stale and old. I kind of wish that he actually was a stunt double, to where he was tagged in and did the same exact moves as The Miz, instead of mimicking everything on the opposite side of the ropes to make him look like an idiot. But either or, it is what it is. They retain their titles, and I'm happy because it's not the Usos. But I guess I could talk about the kickoff. I can care less about the kickoff because I don't like New Day. Nothing will make me like New Day. Ever. I'm sorry. People are like, well, at least they're out there. I don't care. They went against everything they stood for by becoming a ridiculous black stereotype just to be noticed. Not to mention, it's just stupid. It really is. Okay? It's just dumb. And the fact that they beat Golden Stardust, whatever. By the way, I'm not gonna rant about them all night. I do know that the U.S. title, of course, will stay up between the USA versus Russia. The IC title was pretty cool and great, pretty much one of the highlights of the entire night. And then we had the match we never expected would be in the middle of the card: John Cena versus Seth Rollins. The match that had a bit of hype to it, because, you know, if John Cena loses, then he will lose his #1 contendership to fight Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble. I actually thought it was going to be a WrestleMania thing, but I guess not. It's just the Royal Rumble, which means that John Cena is more than likely going to lose. If they chose the Royal Rumble for John Cena and Brock Lesnar to fight, he's going to lose. Straight up. I don't really think that John Cena is going to face him at WrestleMania. Not this year. It's going to probably be a three-way between the Miz, Brock Lesnar, Bray Wyatt, and The Taker. It might just be a three-way. I don't know. But I know that I don't think John Cena is going to main event this year. I don't think he is. But despite all that, the fact that he's the mid-card was the one thing that shocked everybody, but it really didn't shock me because it was the match that didn't have the most hype. Because, I mean, let's be real. There was only one person that was going to lose something, and that was John Cena, but we knew deep down that he was not going to lose that match. We just knew. He could be in the middle all day long, but we knew that John Cena was not going to lose that match. And it was really, 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 really a cheesy ending. Not so much cheesy, but it's more like, oh gosh, they had practically everybody out there. They had the Stooges out there. Then they had the Big Show for some strange reason trying to take down Cena. And then you got the return of Roman Reigns at TLC when it should have been the Rumble. And now Roman Reigns once again is going to be shoved down our throats since he ended up being Superstar of the Year after being gone for months. Don't get me wrong. Roman Reigns was cool when he first started out. He was a great enforcer when he came with the Shield, but he's an overrated guy in my opinion. There's nothing really special about Roman Reigns anymore. Sure, he has the Superman punch. Sure, he has the spear, but that's about it. There's nothing really special about Roman Reigns until I see him go toe-to-toe with a performer that's pretty much a higher caliber than him. If he's in a David versus Goliath style match and he's able to defeat Goliath, I'll be straight. I'll be like, okay, this guy has something to prove, but I haven't seen that yet. Not from him. If I see that coming from Roman Reigns, I will completely retract everything I've ever said about him. But at the moment, I really feel like they're force-feeding him down our throats, and I feel like his return was way too early. I think it should have been at the Rumble. But regardless, that was just a cluster of mess Like, there was far too many people in that match to keep track of what was going on, let alone it just felt like a cheap ending. Pretty much John Cena needed to have extra help from Roman Reigns in order to win the match. Come on now, really? And the fact of the matter is, didn't Roman Reigns not trust Cena at all? Why the heck did he help him when he was out to try to get his title in the first place? I don't know. That was a horrible ending and extremely cheap, and I'm just like, next. Then we come up to the match that I was looking forward to all night. And I'm not going to lie. Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. Wow. All I know is that it was on fire. I love that match. I enjoyed it. Dean Ambrose brought out all stops. He beat the ever-loving crap out of Wyatt. Wyatt had a few hits, but he really didn't have much defense or offense. He was kind of in between, while Dean was just giving it to him right and left. The biggest problem that I had was the ending of it all. Yeah, it was kind of funny. A lot of people are probably going to give Dean Ambrose flack for choosing the second biggest ladder of the night, well, the second biggest ladder to go to the ring and actually use it on Bray Wyatt. But for me, it was the monitor. The fact that Dean Ambrose, it's not so much that he knew it was plugged in or didn't know it was plugged in. It's the fact that he lost because the monitor exploded in his face. That's the cheesiest ending I have ever seen in my entire life. He loses to an exploding monitor. And somehow you got, Bray Wyatt, his sister Abigail, and that's how he ended up beating him. Really? You got the most psychotic of psychotic heels versus the lunatic Fringe, and you're going to win somehow by a technical difficulty? Honestly, that's how you're going to end it? With a technical difficulty? Gosh, that was an extremely cheap ending. My overall thoughts of this pay-per-view was this. It started off strong with a lot of heat with the IC Championship match. But going on down the line, it lost its momentum very, very quick. And the endings were cheap at best. Let alone very slow pace, slow as molasses. And it just seemed like you had no idea which way it was going. I was impressed with the Divas match because, of course, Nikki Bella has improved over the years. But after seeing Brie turn heel on Brie turn heel on AJ Lee, I guess, her heel turn kind of seems pointless to me because she ended up getting escorted out. But regardless, it shows that Nikki can stand strong on her own. And I was impressed with the Divas match, especially the fact that AJ Lee did not win because AJ Lee has been there, done that, got the t-shirt. It's time for Nikki to take over. But regardless of that, those are the two matches that I absolutely liked a lot. But everything else, including the main event, which I'm happy it wasn't Cena, ended cheesy. Cheesy and cheap. I'm just going to say that. It ended in a very cheap way, and it could have been better. But I want to hear y'all's overall thoughts about this pay-per-view. Leave a comment in the comment section below or send me a video response on how you guys feel about this pay-per-view. Whether or not you think it could have been done better, whether or not you think it was fine. I want to hear your thoughts. It's Naturegirl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.